How do you evaluate when to continue a project and when to kill it?
That's really tough. Because, the problem with killing a project, especially when you're when you're passionate about it, is because you're passionate about it and you at some point believed in it and thought it was a good idea. So it's tough to come to terms with the fact that maybe it wasn't such a good idea. And then another thing is, you got to look, you feel like, well, I've invested the time, I've invested some money, and so that would be for nothing. Like, it's so hard to say this is for nothing. So my husband gave me a really good analogy because I've been upset before about investing a ton of time in something and then having to just abandon it. So he just says, in his job, he can't tell me how many times that he works on a project. He's got usually 10 projects going on at once, investing tons of time, traveling for it, meeting with people, putting together these elaborate presentations and budgets, only to have it just fall through and go away. And you've just got to move on to the next thing. But it's because you've got to evaluate, in the long run, is this going to keep me in the direction that I want to be going? And it's also, you got to look at it. I mean, I don't want to sound like my mom here, but it's a learning process. You learn from it. So next time you're not going to make that same mistake.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll catch it a little bit earlier on.
Right.
So I think it's part of growing as an entrepreneur. And you've also just got to be able to admit to yourself that you're not going to do everything right all the time. So, even me.